neither harmonious nor pleasant. That is Armenia, a small country but known as Russia's close ally in the Caucasus region. Accordingly, Armenia, officially known as the Republic of Armenia, is a landlocked country located in the Western Asia region. It is situated on the Armenian highlands of the Lesser Caucasus and is bordered by Georgia, Azerbaijan, Iran, and Turkey. With an area of 29,743 square kilometers, Armenia has a population of 2,963,000, with ethnic Armenians forming the overwhelming majority at 98%. Next are the Yazidis and Russians, accounting for 1.2% and less than 4% of the population respectively, with the remainder consisting of other ethnic groups. However, a notable fact is that Armenia has a very large diaspora living abroad, with some estimates putting the number at around 10 to 12 million people, far exceeding the country's domestic population of only about 3 million. The largest Armenian diaspora communities are concentrated in countries such as Russia, France, Iran, the United States, Georgia, Syria, and Turkey. Another distinctive aspect of Armenia is that, despite being a small country, it is renowned as the cradle of many beautiful women. Armenian women possess a harmonious beauty, a delicate blend of characteristic Asian charm and European elegance. They are known for their long hair, typically dark brown or black, along with sharp lips and a tall, slender, graceful figure. That beauty held an inexplicable mystery and a strange allure, making it impossible for the onlooker to look away. And Armenian women also take great pride in their striking appearance, knowing how to meticulously care for themselves. It can be said that the traditional attire further enhances the beauty of Armenian women. This is because these costumes are already renowned for being vibrant and exquisite. They are usually made of silk or satin. Taraz is the name of this traditional garment, and it has become an inseparable part of Armenian culture and identity. Additionally, jewelry is also an indispensable part of Armenian women's attire. They often wear silver necklaces with coins attached, along with multiple bracelets and rings when wearing their Taraz costumes. According to data released by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, in 2021, Armenia's gross domestic product, GDP, reached $13.93 billion, equivalent to a per capita income of $4,701. S economy is primarily based on industries such as electronics, metallurgy, and textiles, which are among the country. In addition, the mineral reserves here are relatively abundant with various types such as copper, zinc, gold, and tin. Alongside that, reserves of coal, anthracite, and lignite in this country remain untapped. The majority of Armenia's terrain consists of rugged high mountains and deep gorges, with an average elevation of over 650 meters above sea level. And only 3% of this region's area lies at an elevation lower than this level. Mount Aragas is the highest point in the republic, with an elevation of 4,090 meters above sea level. 25 million years ago, a geological upheaval lifted the Earth's crust, forming the Armenian highlands, and shaped the complex topography of present-day Armenia. The Lesser Caucasus mountain range is located in northern Armenia, running southeast between Lake Sevan and Azerbaijan. Subsequently, the horizontal Armenia-Azerbaijan border with Iran was demarcated. With such topography, the mountain ranges posed a major obstacle to transportation and travel between the northern and southern regions. Unstable geological conditions persist, manifested through intense earthquakes. Consequently, the lives of the Armenian people became extremely difficult. In December 1988, a devastating earthquake struck Leninakon, the second largest city of the Armenian Republic at the time. This is Gyumri, which once endured a major earthquake that caused severe devastation and claimed the lives of over 25,000 people. Eastern Armenia is notably home to Lake Sevan. With a total surface area and basin area of up to 5,000 square kilometers, this is the largest lake in Armenia. And this is also one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world, situated on a majestic highland. Due to the terrain-specific characteristics, the land surrounding the lake is unsuitable for agricultural development. However, Lake Sevan also plays a pivotal role by supplying 90% of Armenia's fish and 80% of its crayfish production. It can be affirmed that it possesses immense value, encompassing significant economic, cultural, and entertainment importance. The only island on the lake is actually a peninsula, home to a monastery built during the Middle Ages. Additionally, near Lake Sevan lies Noradas, a cemetery renowned for its countless intricately carved kachkars that resemble works of art. And Armenia also has a long-standing Catholic tradition. This is clearly demonstrated through the stone steles, which are crafted with exceptional intricacy and meticulous effort. The country's only flat terrain lies in the southwest, which is the plain of the Aras River Valley. The Aras River and its tributaries have divided these crucial plains into two parts. Part of it lies in Armenia, with the remainder located in the territories of Turkey and Iran. Although it accounts for only 4% of the total territory, this plain contributes up to 40% of Armenia's agricultural output. And this is also the country's most developed agricultural region, known for cultivating grapes, apricots, peaches, cereals, and livestock farming. The local people raise cattle for milk, rear pigs and poultry for meat, and cultivate vegetables and grains for food. This plain is also the most densely populated region in the country, which includes the capital city of Yerevan. This is the largest city in Armenia with an area of 223 square kilometers, home to approximately 1.1 million people. In addition, Yerevan is also known as the administrative, cultural, and economic center of the entire country. Right in the capital city of Yerevan, there are countless ancient churches and cathedrals, both large and small, bearing a deeply unique architectural style. When it comes to church architecture, one cannot overlook the Zarevor Arvat Sasan Church, a structure completed in 1694 and a source of pride for the Armenian people. This is the oldest surviving church in Yerevan. The church was constructed entirely of basalt stone, without the use of arched vaults. Architecturally, the design elements of the cathedral, both inside and out, exude a simple yet striking beauty. On the flat sections of the outer wall surface, intricately carved niches and cross-shaped stone slabs dating back to the 17th century can be found. Approximately 30 kilometers east of the capital Yerevan, the Garni Gorge reveals itself with magnificent vertical cliffs and unique basalt columns, often likened to a symphony of stone. From a distance, those cliffs looked exactly like a giant organ stretching toward the sky. The pipe organ is an instrument that produces sound by directing pressurized air, called wind, through pipes selected via a keyboard system. Although its population density is only one-third that of Vietnam, forests in Armenia cover just about 10% of the country's territory, mostly concentrated in its northeastern and southeastern regions. One of the reasons the forest area is limited is due to the climatic conditions in this region. Located deep within the northern inland region of the subtropical zone and surrounded by high mountain ranges, Armenia has a dry continental climate with average annual precipitation ranging from 250 to 800 millimeters. The climate in Armenia is primarily influenced by its high elevation. In the summer, the average temperature in the lowlands is 25 degrees Celsius, except for high-altitude areas. In winter, the average January temperature in the lowlands and hilly regions is about 5 degrees Celsius. In the mountainous region, the temperature dropped to -12 degrees Celsius. The land of Nagorno-Karabakh has endured a long and painful history of conflict. Better a nearby neighbor than a distant relative. However, Armenia is an ambitious nation despite a painful history, with ongoing border tensions persisting to this day with its neighbor Azerbaijan. Particularly, the recent event in 2020 further demonstrates that the enmity between the two sides has reached its peak. So what are the specific reasons that cause these two nations to confront each other so fiercely? Armenians have inhabited the South Caucasus region, known as Kavkaz to the Russians, for approximately 3,000 years. At that time, the ancient kingdom of Armenia was an independent state. By the beginning of the 4th century, this nation became the first country in the world to adopt Christianity as its state religion. But throughout that period, the kingdom was continuously fragmented and incorporated into various empires. By the 15th century, this territory was incorporated into the mighty Ottoman Empire, which was ruled by the Turks. From 1639, the territory of Armenia was divided by the Treaty of Zuhab, which placed eastern Armenia under the rule of the Safavid dynasty of Iran. Meanwhile, western Armenia remained under the control of the Ottoman Empire. Following the First Russo-Persian War, 1804 to 1813, and the Second, 1826 to 1828, eastern Armenia was formally ceded to the Russian Empire through the Treaty of Gulistan in 1813 and the Treaty of Turkmenchay in 1828. After the Russian Empire collapsed at the end of the First World War, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia became part of the Transcaucasian Democratic Federative Republic. But this nation existed for a mere 2 months after its founding. The cause of this collapse stemmed from the struggle for ethnic and national interests, as well as confrontation with the British and Ottoman empires during the First World War. Between 1918 and 1920, a series of brief conflicts broke out between Armenia and Azerbaijan in several disputed locations, including the Nagorno-Karabakh region, where the majority of residents are Armenian. At that time, the Armenian parliament declared Nagorno-Karabakh an autonomous region under its sovereignty, while simultaneously the British transferred the area to Azerbaijan. However, on March 12, 1922, on Lenin's proposal, these three republics were merged to form the Transcaucasian Socialist Federative Soviet Republic. By December 1922, the Transcaucasian Socialist Federative Soviet Republic had become one of the four founding republics of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. After the Soviet Union was established, the first meeting of the Bolshevik Party Central Committee stipulated that Karabakh would remain part of Soviet Azerbaijan and be granted autonomous status. Some people claim that this regulation was established by Joseph Stalin's death, and Stalin, in Tbilisi, Lavrenti Beria, Stalin's ally in Georgia, sought to consolidate his control over the region. This led to a political confrontation with the first secretary of Armenia, Agassi Khanjian. The power struggle reached its climax when Khanjian was assassinated by Beria in Tbilisi on July 9, 1936. This event also originated from the Great Purge in Armenia. This event also led to the dissolution of the Soviet Socialist Republic of Transcaucasia, resulting in the formation of three constituent Soviet states. Tensions continued to simmer until the late 1980s due to the influence of nationalism within the Soviet Union. The conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan has escalated once again. When the Soviet Union dissolved in late 1991, Azerbaijan declared the abolition of Nagorno-Karabakh's autonomous status. In response, Nagorno-Karabakh declared independence and expressed its desire to merge with Armenia. The conflict erupted between Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh on one side, and Azerbaijan on the other. The First Nagorno-Karabakh War, which lasted from February 1988 to May 1994, claimed the lives of approximately 30,000 people. And about 1 million others were forced to leave their homes to flee the war. In May 1994, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Nagorno-Karabakh signed a ceasefire agreement. Russia's mediating role, along with support from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE, is considered a key factor in delivering this positive outcome. From September 27, 2020, conflict once again erupted in this region. More than 4,000 people were killed, over 8,000 were injured, and tens of thousands of others had to be evacuated. Although this is not the first armed conflict between these two nations of the post-Soviet space. However, it is still considered the fiercest battle since the Wars of Secession from 1988 to 1994. One of the factors making the current clash more complex is the intervention, both direct and indirect, from major powers such as Turkey, Israel, and Russia. Accordingly, Armenia has long received steadfast support from Russia. Clear evidence of this is the presence of a Russian military base on its territory. Furthermore, Armenia is currently a member of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, headed by Moscow, a military alliance similar in nature to NATO. In this recent conflict, Russia also supplied Armenia with a large quantity of weapons, including much advanced military equipment. Current examples of these weapons include the Iskander-E missile, armored vehicles, and the Danom rocket launcher. The Su-30SM fighter jets and Su-25 attack aircraft, which are crucial mainstays, have demonstrated their power. In addition, General Oleg Shanchikov, commander of the Russian ground forces, stated in the newspaper that Moscow has urgently produced new types of missile ammunition, equipping them to Armenia's large-caliber M2 anti-aircraft missile system specifically designed to counter Azerbaijani drones. In addition, Russia also plays an important role as a mediating party, consistently calling for both sides to implement an immediate ceasefire and engage in dialogue. Meanwhile, Azerbaijan is a close ally of Turkey, but the complexity lies in the fact that this country also maintains